This is a meeting of the Parking Authority of Fairfield being held on Thursday, January 26, 2023 in the first floor conference room of Independence Hall and also via Conference Bridge.
Thank you, Eileen. I know you sent the meeting agenda around just a couple days ago, so thank you. Obviously, called to order the meeting here. It's not on here, but we got to approve the meeting minutes from last meeting. We always forget that, but I think it was the December meeting, and we got the actual date. You did circulate meeting minutes.
It was the 22nd.
Yeah, it was a late one because
schedule. The 21st.
21st. So I thought everything was fine on those meeting minutes. So if no other further questions, I'll make a recommendation to approve those. All in favor? Okay. Mike seconded it. Rich made the motion, and Mike seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Got that, Jude?
She's on mute.
Yep.
Good.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Got it.
Making sure we're not sleeping. No, just kidding. Next. Next on the agenda, I think as we were last meeting, we discussed obviously another renewal for me as chairman, but then Eileen pointed out something that I think we formally need to
have a vice chair.
Mm-hmm. So, I guess following the rules of the road here, if you will, obviously wanted to, make a motion to actually formally elect a vice chair. Didn't know if anyone had any thoughts or questions. Obviously, I'm biased towards people that are, commuters, but opening it up for the rest of the team if someone felt strongly to be a vice chair, to have that.
I have two questions, actually.
Yeah.
First is that per our bylaws?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then is the vice chair, is the position, doesn't automatically mean that the vice chair would be elevated to the chair, or is that?
But typically that is what happens. But it could be, it would be up to that person.
Right. Okay.
But open for everyone if they, it's a non-paid role, first off. So, but,
this hurt.
I know, this could hurt Mike's chance to be, but obviously, if someone feels strongly.
I mean, I'm interested, I'd be interested.
Yeah, Mike would make a good
No, you
candidate
guys
to be
are,
vice chair,
and I take Metro North typically once a week, or maybe twice. I mean, round trip.
Sure. No, but
for someone who
you see
sees fit every day is a difference.
All right. So with that, we'll make a motion to have Mike be the vice chair.
And I'll second that.
Okay. Great. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Congratulations.
Sorry, guys. Who seconded that motion?
David.
Dave. Thank you, David.
Yeah.
Not Mike. Oh, thank you.
No, that would have been the guardrails on that one. Although he is jumping for joy to being the vice chair.
Yeah.
Next, we discussed. Remember last time we talked about maybe simplifying the schedule, condensifying the schedule to maybe have less meetings. We formally couldn't get that approved, so we just do need to. We're going to keep with the regular cadence of a monthly meeting, and we can always tweak it if schedules don't permit. But we do actually formally have to publicize, I think, the schedule, as I understand.
Yes, I have to get that in tomorrow.
Yep.
Most of the boards and commissions for the town, they're not held. They can set their schedule, whether some of them meet monthly, some of them meet bi-monthly, whatever. So we have that option. When the Parking Authority was first set up, it was meeting once a month, usually the last Thursday of the month. But, you can, as we have found, there are some meetings where not everybody's available.
Right.
We can always call a special meeting if there's some kind of matter that we really need to discuss in between. So it does give you some flexibility. So if you want to set the calendar as for each month, continuing on, then I have some dates. Otherwise, you can opt to change it.
First up, does the 7 o'clock meeting seem to work for everybody? And everyone's back to work offices, but 7 o'clock seems to be
Yeah.
better,
Yeah,
you know.
I don't think I could do any earlier.
Yeah, I know, it's, okay.
Get down there.
So 7
Is it
o'clock,
too early?
No,
No.
7's fine.
yeah, 7:30 was always a little late,
Yeah,
personally,
I
I mean,
felt-
it's by the time you get out sometimes, but the next thing is usually, we've typically had a last Thursday in a month, but I know certain months, we
move
all
on.
have commitments, like
Yeah.
getting kids back to school and what have you, but you have got a couple of dates there?
Yeah,
As
so
long
I
as we have a
have,
quorum between all of us is always the mantra, you know?
so if we were to go with the last, Thursday of the month for now, and, you know, each month you kind of have to revisit it if you're not gonna have a quorum. But that would be, the next meeting would be February 23rd,
Mhm,
and I can, you know, March 30th,
mhm.
April 27th, May 25th, that would be the Thursday before Memorial Day, June 29th, July 27th, August 31st, September 28th, October 26th, and then November and December, we
Yeah.
usually switch them because of the holiday time. So November would be the week before Thanksgiving, that would be November 16th. And then December, it could be either December 21st or the week prior.
Okay.
So I didn't catch when it was in May.
25th.
I have the May 25th, which is...
I would propose doing it the week before. 'Cause
Before.
I think that the public schools at least have the Friday off. It may not affect me, but I'm just guessing that people are
For
gonna-
Memorial Day,
Oh,
that
you're saying
Friday is
Friday?
off?
Okay.
Yeah. But, I mean, if everyone else is indifferent, then I don't need to change, I'm probably not going anywhere, so.
Only conflict
Right.
for me so far, and that's a fair point, is the March one. But
March
if you-
30th?
Yeah,
we
but
could-
if there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
quorum here,
That's a conflict for me too.
yeah, that's the only, so we may have to tweak that. I'm out that whole
So,
week, so it'd have to be
the
the week
weekend
before.
before,
Yeah, that'd be
is that
better.
good, better?
Yes.
Oh, let me,
So that would be,
23rd.
okay, so
But- yeah.
so we can write March 23rd, and then as it gets close,
Yeah.
you know,
We can make an
if
adjustment.
people, you know, if we can't get a quorum, we move it. As long as we give ample notice to the
Right.
town clerk so that it's on the website.
Okay.
So, if, you know, if the public wanted to go, they had that opportunity.
So May, you say you want,
Yeah, let's move it.
I was thinking on the margin that
Yeah.
doing it the day before Memorial Day weekend might be.
Yeah, so the 24th, you want to go to the Wednesday, or?
Or the
Yeah, the
week-
Wednesday would be fine,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. So May 24th.
Okay, so that's gonna be a Wednesday, all right.
August, we'll probably have a one or, you know, we'll have to
31st,
figure that
that'll
out,
be
you know, that's always a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can do it earlier. Is it possible to do 11 in the year and do like a combined July,
Yes,
August
yeah.
one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
That might make
I'd be
sense.
cool with that. Nice idea. Because August is dicey, though, I
Just
mean.
do towards the end of
vacation.
July, or, I don't know.
I had July 27th.
Okay, so let's go July 27th, then August siesta,
Mhm.
and we'll resume in September. And I'm
Okay,
not booking right now for September, so probably it's good.
okay. So I'm gonna get this
All right.
to the town clerk tomorrow, and then I'll send it out to you guys immediately
Yeah, that way
after
we
that.
can block them on our calendars.
Yep.
Is there any way?
Eileen,
Go
Eileen,
ahead.
can someone make a motion that you're approving these meeting schedules
Yeah.
for me?
Thank
Oh,
you.
sorry.
Great. Hi, Jude, it's Rich. I'll make a motion to approve those meeting dates.
Second.
Can someone second it?
I second it.
Adrian, second it,
All in favor?
Aye.
Hey,
Great.
voted in.
One request, can you actually send out like a meeting request to us, like an invite, like a,
An invite?
yeah, like an invite that we have in our calendars?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
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 Say-
Amazing how difficult it is to, you know, from the book.
Right,
this.
to this, I know, because I still like that
And
on some
Actually, I'm
stuff.
going to give you a different, use a Gmail calendar for,
Okay, just send it to me
No, I-
separately.
yeah, I'm going to send it to you right now.
Okay,
All right, good. That's a
all right.
accomplishment. Next on the agenda is our typical parking
Yep,
authority
report.
office report. I probably forgot to mention one other item is just the annual audit And that's just,
Yeah, and
still
I have a
everything-
little update.
oh, you do have a little update. Okay,
Yeah.
good. That was, Eileen will give an
I was
update
in
there,
touch
but
with
everything's
them
on
today.
track, so good.
Yeah.
Thanks, take it away, Eileen.
Okay, so very briefly, Parkers, total Parkers, we continue to see an increase. Today we had about 765. Month-to-date average was 715, which is definitely higher than last month, and our high for the month was 870, which is also our high since March of
Yeah.
2020.
Tremendous.
So we are seeing an increase. Day Parkers, month-to-date average is around 95, and that's only because I'm only going through like the 25th of January. By the time I get the full month, it may be higher. Fairfield continues to be 90% of that number, and Southport 10%, although we are seeing that Southport is filling in more and more. For permits, we've sold 1,665 Fairfield permits, about 255 Southport, for a total of around 1,925 permits, and that compares with last year of 2,000, so just a little under. But in the fiscal 20, which was the pre-pandemic measure benchmark, and years prior to that as well, we were at 2.2, so we're still about 300 under where we once were. But it's doing well. We continue to get a lot of interest from people for permits out of cycle, and I would say about 60% of those who call and express an interest in buying a out of cycle permit actually buy it.
It's great.
Oh,
Have you talked with other towns
Yes.
about, and how our numbers compare or contrast with their numbers?
Yeah, I talked to Fairfield Metro, Westport, New Canaan, and a couple other authorities that we know pretty well, and we stay in touch, and everyone's kind of in the same boat. Numbers are coming back, but they're not where they once were, because a lot of people are doing, as you know, the hybrid, so they're not, like Fridays are dead everywhere. Fridays are really low. But Monday, which used to be low, is now coming up closer, and Tuesday through Thursday are the peak numbers.
Just drilling into that a little bit. So the 30% off number off of the 2020, similar in those communities as well in terms of just order of magnitude what the delta is? Do you have any sense for that?
I don't know that we've gotten that kind of level of data from them.
It's sort of, I mean, it's
more of
apples
a
to oranges anyway, right?
conversation.
No two
Yeah.
communities are the same, but just out of curiosity.
Yeah, and it's not 30%, it's 300, so,
Oh, no, I'm sorry, you're right, 300, yeah.
yeah, 30% would be.
Yeah, no.
I know.
would be frightening.
Like,
Thanks for the correction.
I'm just curious, are the other communities, do they also make parking free on weekends? Is that
A lot of them do. I think you'll find like Stanford and those, and I don't know for a fact, but a lot of those private parking garages do not, obviously, and people are there for other reasons. But at the stations, generally, I don't know. I don't even want to say if it's general, but ones we've talked to, they just enforce Monday through Friday.
is the meter, like, right at when people pay at that little token booth, does it definitely say weekends are free?
On the kiosk?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good.
It says
All right.
parking, free parking Monday through Friday
Okay.
after 5 p.m., weekends and major holidays.
Okay, that's good.
There's always a little confusion.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But we have it right there.
I know, okay,
and
just want to
we-
make sure. Don't want to be
But
making more
we
revenue
have
than we
set
should
it up
on
so
weekend.
that the kiosk will, if you pay at the kiosk on a Saturday,
Yeah,
it will apply it to Monday, the next
Oh.
business day. And it tells you that.
so do you get a lot of those?
No.
Okay, I was going to say, all right, good.
No, but it works out really well because a lot of people go in on Friday, come back Monday night,
Oh, I see.
and so they can just pay on Friday for 2 days,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't have to worry about,
I got it.
so it rolls forward to the business day,
Okay.
and that is stated on the kiosk.
Mhm.
And now we're working with the mobile app to try and get the mobile app to do the same thing. It's still struggling a little bit to do it.
All right.
As far as, just miscellaneous, the Freight House needed some new locks. It was a little under $1,000, but I had to authorize to get new locks for them. The audit, I received some more drafts today, and so he was able to answer some of my questions that I had.
Okay, good.
Yep, and so I'm gonna go through it in more detail again tomorrow, and I asked him if he would be able to, when he would be able to present, hopefully February, as soon as the financial statements are done. I know he does the town as well, so I think he finalizes the whole package, and then he'd be prepared to present here.
Good. Hopefully next month.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay.
hoping, yeah.
Good. If you need me to.
So I'll get in touch with you about it, and I'll show you the preliminary statements, and then once we iron out a couple things, then we can share them with everybody.
I think early read was no surprises.
No.
Everything is on track. It's just.
There's a lot of new accounting rules, like new lease accounting standards, and so the way they recognize things is a little different, and so that's that's what I was spending a lot of time on, because it made our balance sheet look very different. But nothing alarming, it's just accounting rules. They have to look at leases in a different way and take like present values of the future payments and that kind of thing. So that's it. There's really not a big update to the audit, but it is definitely finalizing. He's doing, wrapping it up.
Good, thank you.
Question?
Yes.
Any interest in open space in the
Fairfield?
Fairfield, in the bill?
No additional interest, just that one party.
But so who's the one party that was interested?
Greg.
Okay.
There was no other interest, sadly.
No.
It's a nice spot.
Yeah. So, I've prepared everything for the renovation for that station house as well, which would kind of the additional space, the expanding the space would try to trigger the whole renovation. One would do one without the other.
Right.
And so I'm just waiting for engineering to do a drawing for Public Works so that they can follow that drawing we have one wall, but because of the height, it's like 11.5 feet. Public Works would like to see a drawing so they know whether it has to be steel beams or whatever, and the distance between them, 16 versus 24, that kind of thing. So that's what we're waiting on.
Thank you.
And, yeah, sure.
Next on the agenda here is to talk about capital projects. So,
everyone got the document that I sent?
Yep.
And I added a lot of things to it that I looked up from prior year, other items that we talked about at some point doing. So I just figured I would list everything out. And then I added a list of some of the completed projects that have taken place, at least, since I've been here. I know there's many more from years prior, but some of them, you can focus on these.
Well, I know last time when we were starting to build the list, we had a short list of priorities, and I think definitely one of them was painting of the station house. I think while it can't happen now, we did get 2 quotes, and we're going to hopefully proceed with the lowest price on that shortly. So that'll be probably like a April painting if we can get in line for that. So that'll be really good. If anyone's seen the station house, it needs a little TLC, and there is some boards that are deteriorated, particularly around the door. As you kind of go through the station house up to the platform, not everyone probably goes through that way, but there's a lot of rotted wood, and also on probably the southbound side, not southbound side, but on the, yeah, on the southbound side,
Yeah,
not going towards New York, but on the station house. So
right.
wood and all those types of, treatments can be a little, it's necessary maintenance, and there's some, kind of looks like there is some water damage on some of those boards. So my point is, I think it's going to look really nice, but it's going to be some tricky areas to kind of paint.
Yeah.
I think that'll look really good to refurbish that.
So I'd have to work with the state to get, with DOT, to get flagmen out there, and
Right.
that'll be the tough part, because we'll have to coordinate, the painter
Right.
won't just be free every day, and sometimes you don't always know when the flagmen will come.
Mm-hmm.
They'll try and give you a date, but you don't sometimes know until a week before.
Yeah.
And that may not work out well, but we'll see. I'll do my best to try and get somebody out there.
Yeah.
I'll get a couple dates from the painter, and then try and get the flagman out there,
Mm-hmm.
on one, at least commit to one of those dates. And then, of course, there's rain
Yeah.
and weather.
Yep, go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just going to say, if the roof needs attention, replacement.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think, I have to look up the dates, but the Fairfield westbound station house, that's the New York bound side, my understanding is that there was a fire many years ago, I don't know how many, so the roof was replaced then.
Looks pretty good.
So I think it's right. I think if any roof is probably, I would say that in order of priority, it might be the eastbound.
The reason I ask is it happens, as you all know, I have had a particular pet interest in solar panels on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's going to be different for private citizens and for public,
Mm-hmm.
For a municipal purpose. But we just had solar panels installed, and any kind of related expenses, I believe it's 30% gets covered by the state. And so I'm wondering if there's some similar type of accommodation, and so there would be an interest, if to kind of capitalize on it, because it turned out we did need to replace a roof. We were planning to do the solar panels.
So it was
and then
30%
discovered-
cheaper, roughly, because of the...
Yeah. So
Okay.
we were already planning to do it, but I mention it just because
Mm-hmm.
it might be a motivation to.
Yeah, I have to look at the dates and see when they were last replaced. Southport obviously was done 12, 13 years ago when it burnt down.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure how. I feel like when I've had Public Works look at them, the Fairfield, New York side is pretty good. The other side, I don't know, but we have like a lot of grass growing up, weeds coming up, but that might just be that the shingles have lifted, and it may not mean a whole roof replacement. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I just think we have to prioritize some more than others, and hopefully everyone saw the list here. There's a few on here that are just, some are maybe nice to have, but clearly want to get your input. I mean, security cameras to me feels like almost like a no-brainer,
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I find that there's often times that we need it.
Yeah.
And there's times when the police have called and asked if we had cameras on this particular area.
I feel like that's...
And the
in this day
system
and
we
age,
have now is
right.
So it really could use an update.
Now, when we do something like this, and this is from my background in terms of the vendors we approach, do you have someone like the town have?
The town has this Omnidata.
Okay.
And they have a contract with them, and I think the police are using them as well.
So that would be your preferred.
We're hoping that we could piggyback onto that and be an amendment to their contract, and so they are going to be my first place that I would go to if everyone agreed that
I mean,
we should do this.
definitely everyone's input here.
These are, you're in the station houses or on the
Well,
platforms as well?
No, we are not allowed to put cameras on the platform. The DOT puts
DOT
those.
does.
And we don't get access to the footage, but, you know, the police can
do.
if there's we had an issue, or they had an issue with vandalism. Some kids in Southport spray painted the train as it pulled into Southport. So the police were able to, gave them a number and they could talk to Metro North police, and they were able to get the footage. But our cameras are, some are in the station house and around the station house. They were put in many years ago. A lot of them focus on the bicycles because there was a big bike theft thing going on for years.
Yeah, I remember that.
And, but I would like to see a little bit more coverage for safety. We do have now, you know, the police car meeting the trains at night in Fairfield, so that's good. But it would be nice to get just a little bit more coverage.
I mean, there's a police officer that waits in the lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Every later
and
trains come in?
Yeah,
Actually,
till
up until
midnight.
11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Right?
Really?
Yeah, till
It's really
midnight.
nice.
Yeah, and they'll go up on the platform, you know, as
Yeah.
well, and then they're in the
good
lot
presence
until
for that,
12
yeah.
o'clock.
But the camera is another supplement, so
Mhm.
I'm in favor
And we've
of that.
had people that cars, someone who said, you know,
Right.
my car got got a dent in it, you know, do have not that we could cover everything, but we also had a lamppost knocked
Yeah,
down.
remember that?
Now, are there
Just the other
cameras
day.
in the lots?
No, they're like around the station house, and so they'll go out a
In the
little
perimeter.
bit.
Yeah, they won't go all the way
Like
down
that,
to
but they
like
don't go all the
No,
way down.
Mill Plain Road there.
Yeah, but
That's
we had a
definitely-
lamppost knocked down as
Yeah, I
well.
can imagine it's gonna be expensive.
We can get
Yeah.
that's one of those hover things, you know, just
Yeah, drones
Drone,
going
yeah.
around.
Yeah.
But we had a
Yeah,
lamp.
so if you park down all the way at the end,
yeah,
At
You
your own
get
risk.
bugged.
Right.
yeah.
you're out of luck.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Right, okay.
Yeah, well, you know, the police are there and they ride through, and there's another car that goes through as well. So
Yeah.
they have been incredibly supportive of,
Okay.
you know, trying to keep the stations, you know, watched and so on.
Yeah.
I really appreciate what
I
they're
know we
doing.
talked about the plexiglass being a no-brainer too.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
that's,
an overgrad, that Umpqua stairs, plexiglass, and
yeah, that, you know, that could end up being a little bit pricey because, you know, I think I gave you
Yeah.
one number. It's gonna be at least that because it's all labor.
yeah,
It's all cutting to fit the exact frame, and we have to keep the frame, otherwise we'd have to redo that whole
Mhm.
covering.
I apologize, I'm not clear about what plexiglass you're talking about.
When you walk up the stairs,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what I had assumed, but.
yeah, no, it's
yeah. So right now it's got like a yellow, I don't know, some kind of, I'm sure it's just
It's
changed
got a
over
variety of
time.
things on it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Discoloring.
Yeah, and there
Scratch.
are
It would
some,
clean it up nice though.
Yeah.
so I think, you know, doing clear, and there's a couple of different things, it's not just plexiglass, it's like a polycarbonate material that is a little more resistant to
Yeah.
graffiti and you know,
Okay.
things like that. So, but I think it would
Clean it up a little
Yeah.
bit
Yeah.
too.
Just a basic question. What is the budget for capital
You know-
projects? Yeah, just a ballpark.
I would like to at least propose, I mean, we're sitting at pretty healthy cash balances
Okay.
right now. I would say, you know, $75,000 to $100,000.
Okay.
So we're not gonna do all of these, but
no, we'll do a
clearly,
little bit each fiscal year.
yeah,
My,
I know the steps,
my focus is on safety and
yeah.
Right.
security. And so
Me too.
the improved lighting on the stairs,
Yeah,
that
I mean, part
climb
of
those
it,
stairs. And,
yeah,
would be
it's dark.
fantastic.
It's dark.
yeah.
It's dark.
But I also think if we do whether it's plexiglass or polycarbonate, which if we do a clear,
Yeah.
that's going to open
Right. That's a
the
good
light
point.
too as
Yeah.
well and
Mhm.
make
Make
it
it less
feel
of
a
a
little.
cave and more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So I
focus.
think we put them together and just redo that
Yeah.
whole
I'm not
decade.
minimizing people's comfort in the station house, with air conditioning and upgraded restrooms. But I
Yeah,
focus
that's-
on.
But it's
Nice
less
cities.
of a priority. I agree. I mean,
Yeah,
all right.
Can I put in a word for solar?
Yeah.
It pays itself back in no time, and solar, just went up considerably. So the return would be that much faster. It is a positive for the town, which, has made it a priority. And I don't think it's that big a
And you're thinking
reduction now. So.
potentially your vision is just on the
Let's start with the
station
roof.
house. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have grander visions, but
Yeah.
I'm happy to start more modestly.
Yeah.
I spoke with Bodie, I've forgotten his last name, but at the Westport Police Department because.
Kinko's.
Thank you.
Used to be my neighbor.
He was very nice. He said that they did it in 2013. They got a lot of flack for doing it. They were the first. They may still be the only.
Why did they get flack?
The town was, I guess they didn't want to spend the money. It was more, solar 10 years ago was in a different state
Right.
than it is today.
Yeah.
But he said that it has been, it was totally worth the investment, that it has repaid itself.
So if we're
Unfortunately,
roughly at, let's say we are at a number, I guess we might have to, like, we start to rank some of these, but we only have a pot
Sure.
spend. I don't even know how much solar would be, but we might have to
But
do some more homework. Like,
Sure.
if that's a top priority, do you feel the same?
yeah, I think the whole thing.
Would
is
I feel the
you have
same
to
about
decide-
solar?
Yeah.
You have to decide, too,
Sorry, I
are you
don't
buying
know.
or leasing?
I mean, it wouldn't be what
Think of it
if I'm
as
looking,
a
if I'm looking
worthwhile
at the
financial
list, it wouldn't be, something that, if we've got $100,000 to spend, I could spend $100,000 a lot, very easily on other things.
Yeah. I mean, that's,
And the roof and solar go hand in glove, the way I look at it, to your point.
So it
Right.
might be worth doing on one of the roofs.
Right.
well, we got to get some estimates and come
Yeah.
back. But we know we got the painting estimate already, and that's
Right,
like $20,000.
that's ready to go,
I think
yeah.
it's like $20,000. So we're at 80 to go. Roughly.
Oh, hey, can I just jump in on that solar conversation
Greg.
for a
Yeah.
second? Prior, I think this was prior to Eileen too. The prior board went down this road through public hearings and meetings and stuff, and the Mosswood community was very much against it and put up and Eileen, you could back me up on my memory if this is correct, because of the visual nature of solar panels not being nice to look at. So if that is something that is on the table, it would behoove us to have a public meeting over that, because otherwise you're opening up to a lot of unnecessary grief. I've also looked into solar. I never put it on my house because when I did the math a couple of years ago, it actually took a long time before it paid off, and then the savings weren't actually that much. Maybe that's changed in the last couple of years, but I don't necessarily know if 10, 12, 15 solar panels on the roof actually would make that much of a difference. And we'd also have to see if that even would go to our piggy bank. It's
Right.
possible that could go to the DOT or to the town. So, I think all those things need to get looked into before even taking the conversation to the next step.
And obviously the price aspect too, to see if it can fit in all the above. But a very good point.
But to the solar, just to continue that for a second, 'cause I have one more point, that with my personal opinion is, first and foremost, should come safety. That
Yeah.
shouldn't even be a question. And if we're going to invest in new cameras, which we should, then my opinion is those cameras should extend the entire parking lot. Right? It would be a little weird to have just the station house protected, but then not the parking lot for the commuter safety when they get off the train at night or early in the morning, as well as the cars that are parked there all day long. So to the solar point, you can go to plenty of the parking lots around here and see the individual lamp posts are all solar powered, like all over the place. So that could be a way to incorporate solar into the parking lot. And they're very small solar panels, like you barely even notice them. They sit above the light and they power whatever in that lighting pole structure. So you could power your lights, and you could put in, cameras in not every pole, of course, you don't need that, but, scattered throughout the parking lot, and it's all under it all runs on solar, and, that's my opinion. Like, that's how you can incorporate solar into the parking lot sooner than later while you're going to do this upgrade of the security cameras.
And I think you make some great points, Greg. And I think the need for a public meeting or a hearing, there's research that needs to be done on pricing and so on. It might be a tough putt in 2023 anyway. Mm-hmm. But start the process, do some due diligence, do the math, and then
see if it makes sense.
Make a decision.
Aesthetics.
I will just add, just because I spoke with Fody, his last name, I apologize.
Fody K.
Fody K. He said that the company that Westport used no longer does solar panels, and that, the rules and regulations have changed a dozen times over in the time since Westport installed them, and recommended that we speak, because he lives in Fairfield, he said, you should speak with Department of Public Works or the Board of Ed here, because they both have experience with installing solar.
Well, they don't install it necessarily.
No, but you could get the intel, right?
Yeah. But they're familiar with what the process is.
Yeah, I talked to building, and I got, some of the schools that have it. It was put in 2016 on a couple schools. And it's also at Smith Richardson on just the garage. So we'd have to find out, like, just how much is that, powering. And did they lease them or buy them? Because that's a big, difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there some sort of homework assignment that I can take on since I'm the one who's most interested in championing this?
Yeah, I'm all in favor if it wants to be a joint venture, or I know you've gotten some research already.
Yeah, Public Works, there was a person, he retired, he was the one who did a lot of the energy alternatives and so all of that, he wrote a lot of the grants, and I still haven't found out exactly who's picked that up, but I just know from talking to the building department from before, and I think I had included it when I wrote that little write-up, that there were some schools that were done back in 2016.
I could reach out to someone. I joined Sustainable Fairfield. I haven't.
Yeah, that's why I said to you should talk to them, because they're very
involved. They have a big event.
Yesterday.
I think it was last night.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't want to bother them as they were getting ready for it.
Yeah.
But I assume by next week it would be safe to reach out, and I could make that my next.
Okay.
Yeah, because they might be able to point me in the right direction.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of stuff, so they probably would know. Probably have some good information.
They might be. So I can report back on what they have to say next month, and we can take it.
That'd be great.
Well, Park and Rec did it too. They put all those solar panels in the place on South Pine Creek. They did it across from their building. I believe that's theirs.
Yeah, you're right, by a tenant.
Whatever that is, local.
Is there?
Do you know how long ago they did that, Greg?
It was right after I was on the Park and Rec board, so 6 or 7 years ago.
Probably by that same guy that was in Public Works.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I'll
probably.
find out who in Public Works that you can talk to.
Okay.
Great.
And I like I said to you yesterday, I think the best bet is to go to that
I'll
task force committee thing.
I'll do both.
Yeah.
If you get me the name of someone, because otherwise it's kind of.
Yeah.
I'm happy to just call and.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll just go circled around. Yeah.
My wheel.
Yeah.
So just to keep the meeting moving here,
Yeah,
sure.
we want to focus on safety and soundness first. I think that's our kind of authority here and responsibility, and some of the routine maintenance, like the painting, and
Right.
we still did that out and come up with the final list and maybe a ranking, next month, hopefully. But I don't think we're missing anything on here, but I'm always mindful that you may have a wish list, but you're not gonna be able to do all this. But the one that I think you said will make your life easier running the office is the POS system.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know how expensive that is, but
I don't either.
I
I mean, I'm thinking it's
it's gotta be
just a
hundreds of
little,
dollars.
yeah, I think it's under 1,000.
if that
but I
makes your
have-
life easier running and you feel like it's gonna increase your efficiency, then
Well, it's a real service to
Yeah.
customers,
So I
because
think-
a lot of people come in and they have those commuter benefit
yeah,
cards,
and they can't
and we
swipe it.
can't take credit cards.
I'm all for that.
So, that would be nice.
Who would you go to, like, is it M&T Bank, or who would be your vendor on that? Like
I could do, I don't have to use M&T as
Okay.
to get the authorization. I could use the same, might be able to do something like we do with the kiosks.
Okay.
Or some of the other people I talk to.
Right. I know that's not
looking at
a
it.
safety and soundness, but it does feel like an efficiency play
Yeah.
for you, and it would help. And
I just have
I'm
to
all
make
for
sure
that.
the software
Okay.
can handle it.
all right. So
again,
painting the bathroom is low.
well,
I know.
no, that's
Okay.
not necessarily. I don't know what color it is right now, but the windscreen removal that has asbestos. Okay. First of all, where's the windscreen?
There's blue and
Same
yellow.
thing.
So I can avoid that part of
The
it.
blue-
Right? When the wind goes.
The blue and yellow panels on the platform that people put all those,
Oh, those.
Ah,
yeah.
okay,
They're not a danger, but they do have it in there.
okay. Okay.
It's a leftover from, many years ago. I
Okay.
dug up
What would
things for
that,
the last 5 years.
what would that cost to be remediated? Is it, okay,
No
that's
idea.
fine.
Yeah, it was asbestos. It could be
So-
pricey.
A lot of the train stations all have them. And the same color. The yellow and blue. Just take a look tomorrow morning when you're on the train. You'll see them.
All right.
So the bathroom, Fairfield restroom upgrade, you just mentioned the hand dryers. Is there more to the upgrade than that? Or is it,
Do I have? We did the hand dryers.
so that's that, so
We
what?
did that a while ago.
Good. So this is
Yeah.
done. Okay.
What are you looking at?
Fairfield
No,
restroom
yeah, I
upgrade.
said hand dryers were installed 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, God, this is everything that you said. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
All right.
But there's other things you can upgrade it to. Sinks and all that other stuff. I'm just mentioning that was done.
How bad is the Southport loft?
Yeah.
That's gotta be a huge expense, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. There's a lot of cracks in the pavement, and weeds and grass coming up. The line striping is, really faded. I've talked to Public Works to try and tie it in, just like on the eastbound side of Fairfield, tied it because it goes over a road, like Station Street in Southport and Carter Henry. So tie it in when they're going to do the paving with that. But the last time I talked to them, which was a while ago, it wasn't on the plan yet. So, because that would be the best time to do it.
Mm.
Because you don't want to you don't want to close half of it and then
Right, I
6
get it,
months
yeah.
later, a year later, close half
Close
of
it
it
again,
again, and people will be upset.
Yeah.
So it's easier to just arrange alternate parking for that period and
When's the
knock it
last
out.
time they did that, do you know?
I don't know.
No, wow.
I'm gonna guess a long time.
Wow.
A long time.
Okay. I think it's a great list. We still got to, as I said, probably prioritize
Mhm.
for maybe next month, but there's a couple we already wanted you to move forward with,
Yep,
but we're not gonna be able to do everything. Clearly, the paving is gonna be hundreds of thousands of dollars, I'm sure.
That is gonna be.
yeah.
We did
It'd
it
be
a
a
couple years
couple
ago
hundred thousand.
in the main lot, so we know how much the price, but,
How much was it?
It depends on the lot. I think at the time we were quoted for like 200 or 250 number of years ago for Southport. But if we tie it in with when the town is doing the road, that would
Right.
cut back.
So
All
I
right.
thought of you last night, actually, because I got off the train when it was pouring. It was like,
terrible.
so I had to, my car was parked one of the close spots, and you had that new,
Drainage.
that new
Pavement.
pavement there. I'd have to walk through a big puddle. So thank you for that.
That was good to
Sorry
do.
about the digression.
Good investment.
So is there anything we know we want, so the painting, for example, we've got an estimate, we want to make sure we get in the queue. Do we need to, do you want to wait until we get the complete list and then move forward, or do we want to not wait on that and make sure we get in the painter's
Yeah,
queue and say that's, again, I just use that as an example, maybe we don't.
I think the
I
painter's
know.
queue is a definite.
That's a,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because it's
so that
It's not gonna be, it's now, but we have to, that's an April.
And he's
probably event.
booking
He's
for
booking.
He's good.
He's
Okay, that's
booking
what
now,
we'll-
yeah.
We'll at least
I'm meeting
position for that.
tomorrow morning, meeting another fire alarm,
Yeah.
company.
The camera one, I think, sounds really important.
Yeah.
But, Greg raises obviously a really good point, so we all do. If we might have
Just,
a couple price quotes on that.
yes.
If,
So,
the full lot, a couple options there, but you said you have someone?
well, I have one company that I
Okay.
can call, and then I'll have to,
So I think,
I'll call around to some other, parking authorities and see
Yeah,
what other
what they
companies
have.
they've used.
Okay.
Because a lot of times they're on like a state-approved list.
Yep.
And then that makes it a lot easier.
okay. And then you're gonna do some solar panel research, no promises, but let's see what the options are.
As you may have noticed, I'm a little overextended work-wise, so.
Yeah, take your time.
This is just making a couple of calls.
Yeah, no,
Really
it's
what I have
color
time
is
for.
Educate us, that's great.
Sorry?
What color is it?
It's like a light
And the
yellow.
amount of time
It
it
is?
takes to go through the
Yeah,
process.
and a
again,
lot of them are the
maybe
same
we-
color, so.
we just
Really?
say, look,
Yes,
well,
that would
organically, it's
be-
going to take.
So that's
10
what,
months.
when you
Yeah.
paint it,
So-
it's gonna be the same color?
Maybe a 2024
You know,
type of
we
thing.
could-
Just
Bright yellow.
a general sense
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
timing.
Just to
Right,
get
and
into
I
the-
think it's
I'm
very-
trying to think, it's like, I don't,
It
And
took
it's
us
got
a year
the
to get
gray,
the,
Yeah.
but I'd like to
trim
get
and
the
like
ball rolling
maroon
with it.
trim as
I don't
well.
expect that it's in
This
this is on
But
the
if we
westbound
can-
side?
yeah,
or
yeah,
up
the other
here?
side's brick.
The other side,
Next
that's why,
winter.
yeah.
That's nice.
That's what I'm thinking, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
there-
everything
there is- there is,
For the,
that's
right
all
now, I
brick,
think
I
there's
don't
a
see
lot
what
of
happened.
incentive, so I
no,
would hate
that one was good.
to have missed that opportunity,
But I
particularly when
think, Westport,
Everything
and
is
there's a
going up in
couple
price.
others
Everything
that
goes
are all
up in
that
price
same
and-
They're
yellow.
the same yellow
we
color?
can recoup the investment relatively.
I wonder where they came up with that, man.
I think for us,
I don't know, I mean,
Visibility
we
or-
could propose to
Which
do
is
it something
pretty
different, but it would,
yeah.
they're gonna say
So,
something
um,
neutral,
now,
like,
I'm
so.
not a finance person, so
No.
I don't know how you.
To me, I don't care, you know, I just
Gotcha.
painted the same thing, I don't, you know.
Exactly.
That's not a bad, that's a good incentive, so. Greg, anything else on your list that you think we may have missed at all on the CapEx projects?
No, I don't. I think the priority is just the cameras.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we have our takeaways on that, right, Eileen?
Yes,
Good. That's it from the straight agenda items here, so I'll effectively make a motion here to adjourn the meeting at 7:56. Want to second it?
I'll second.
Okay, great.
David?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great.
Yep.
Thanks, Greg.
I
That
know.
concludes the meeting. Thanks, Jude.
Have a good night.
Have a great evening.
Okay. Good night, guys.